We don't believe markets go straight up or straight down. So consequently, we're trying to find those inflection points that gives us an opportunity to scalp the market, basically. We're looking for about, given the volatility, any particular moment in time. Today, it looks like, just looking at the overnight stuff, probably about 2 to 3 points with our trades as the market opens up here. Again, the first resistance up at the 68 area. Anyway, given the volatility overnight, see what happens. Hey, Mark, how you doing? I saw your text. I'm in the dungeon here, so it doesn't really come in right on time. So by the time I got out of here, it was late Friday, so I didn't give you a chance to get back to you. Hopefully it was nothing important, and I could do that. I could obviously call you later when I get out of the dungeon. Our pivot, repeat those levels again for some of you who don't realize that the market starts at 8:30 Chicago time. Our pivot is 33.61. I'm saying that to Don, so I know he knows. So I'm just joking with him. Not being mean or nothing. I'm just joking with Don. You know, I like joking with Don. Don is the man. As we quickly rotate up here to the 68 area. Again, first bar, you never know what's going to happen. It's going to be, you know, how they're going to deal with the news overnight. So that's what it's coming up to over here. And see what it wants to do. Coming up to the 68 area. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry there, Don. I'll repeat. Pivot 61. Support, resistance 60, 68, 74, 82, 88. Support below, 54, 47, 39, and 32. You can see here, kind of drifted through it. Again, not too much of a surprise, as you never knew which way they were going to, you know, deal with the rotation here off of the news. It's up 30 points, so it's pretty good move off the settlement on Friday. So the next level on the upside here we have is 74 area. All right, so again, just ISM non-manufacturing coming out here at 9 o'clock, top of the hour. So we'll see what that brings us. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Put them in the chat box area for the new folks that are in here. It'll be easier for me to catch the questions quicker, as the Q&A window is not up and running immediately on my charts, on my windows here, so I don't have that window up. So if you're gonna have to ask a question, if you just put it in the chat box there, you know, if it just goes to all panelists, just Brad and I see them, nobody else does. So you don't have to worry. Not that you should be about any question that you ask. It's the special committee formed to be the behest of the CDC and the NIH recommends a 4-phased deployment of COVID-19 vaccine after emergency use authorization, likely to happen later this quarter. That that prioritizes vulnerable populations. First up would be frontline healthcare workers and first responders and federal officials who expect to ship initial doses within 24 hours of the emergency use authorization are already on board with another of the committee's suggestion is not out-of-pocket costs for the vaccine. All right, how you doing there? We're trading mini S&Ps, which is the chart on the right on a 5-minute chart, and also the chart on the middle is an hourly chart. As the market is trailing off here off of again, you have to take a little bit of heat there on the 68 and kind of just hung there around the 71. If you were able to please the finger stop there and just kind of watch it, kind of the orders came in there at that level of 71, so to kind of give you a little bit of maybe a reason to sit with it or hang with it a little bit. There was a little influx of orders that came up around the 70 area that created that stop up there. So we're trading mini S&Ps there. Says the chart on the left is a bond chart, which we have up there to kind of maybe guide us. We're trading futures, and we gave levels out this morning in regards to the levels that we would concentrate on to have to take any kind of position, and then we also look at price action opportunities that occur. So, have you traded before? We're back here at the stocks, okay? Well, these are futures. You have the platform, which allows you to place orders into the market, and you can participate hands-on. And it's a little different than stocks. There's a much quicker risk-reward situation than you get in stocks. Quicker is the key, and because we've kind of had this little opportunity here against our level bounce up and then come all the way back down to give us a chance, and it was only even 5 minutes. So yeah, there's a platform that you would need to give you the opportunity to trade, and to place orders in. We put together a trading methodology that allows us to take advantage of what we are trying to do, or take advantage of the ebbs and flows in the market. And obviously, what we do here is kind of teach. That's what we like to do. In addition to have this trading room every day to kind of guide everybody through the situations that might occur. Sometimes it's a little bit more active than others, only because there's a little bit more volatility in markets, trade uncertainty. So futures trading is a little bit different. Another word for it is derivatives. I love that word. I have no idea where they came up with derivatives, but okay. Derivatives. I think that's the bank's phrase for trading futures. Instead of saying trade futures, they're trading derivatives. They like that word. So you get to hear my pleasant voice, at least for the morning. As we trade, we focus more on the morning trade for the first couple hours. We feel that the first couple hours gives us good opportunity, gives us good ebbs and flows. Market, we need volatility to take advantage of those bars that you see, and the morning trade does allow us. Do we trade futures only? Yes, we only trade futures. At least we only trade many S&Ps here. There's many futures that you could trade, but we're only focusing on the many S&Ps because of the volatility. Plus, it also trades well technically, so that gives us an opportunity to make some money and to take advantage of the volatility. Yeah, we do not. We talk about stocks, but we don't trade stocks here. Yeah, so we're just kind of hanging up right here against the 68 area, that first level of resistance. Again, you had to kind of just watch it up there against the 70 area. There was an influx of orders that came in there, maybe allowed you to stay with it. If you look at the orders that are traded, there's a little bump in the activity. That's an indication that there's some interest in that area, and maybe allowed you to stay with the trade and either scratch it and or make a little bit of money on it. If not, pick your loss. We'll look at the 74 area next. New York City looking certain areas back down to avert second wave of COVID. New York City will close schools and non-essential businesses on Wednesday within 9 zip codes. Indoor and outdoor dining will also be closed in those areas. Houses of worship will remain open with restrictions. Neighborhoods will be closed, have a positivity rate of more than 3% for the last 7 days. We can stop this from being a second wave in New York City, said the mayor. At his press conference, in these communities, it is very troublesome reality that has to be addressed aggressively. Closures may last 2 to 4 weeks, he said. They are being very, very tough with their positivity rate here. It's they average more than 3%. In Chicago, in Illinois, I should say, the governor is worried about the positivity rate in the state of, as long as it stays below 4%. The mayor there in New York is looking at positivity rates averaging more than 3% in the last 7 days. So that means it was a lot less than that. It's a very good, it's very tough, tight little range there for him too. And zip codes. I mean, you're talking about little areas. Kind of very interesting how they've gotten to this point where they can narrow it down to zip codes, right? 9 zip codes. So, and in New York, I think it's like every block is a zip code, especially in the downtown area. But I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that one. It's just I know they have a lot of zip codes in the downtown area there. Manhattan, I think. So anyway, but yeah, so that's 3% positivity rate for 7 days. That, like I said, that's a very tight number to achieve. And they've been very good. And you have to admit, after their initial outbreak and how they dealt with it, and they've been, they're getting a lot of slack from a lot of people, but they've controlled it very well. Like I said, the positivity rate in Illinois is 3.3%, and it's a new low. And I think everybody's happy about that, at least if we live here. And that is, the positivity rate means the number of people who got tested and how many come up with the infection. So, and then obviously the quarantine part above it has to be the next thing that happens once you find out. So, yeah, you just don't know how it's going to affect everybody. That's the some people just get cold, flu symptoms. My friend, a couple of friends have had it already, and they sniffly and achy, and one had a fever for a bit. They got over it in like a week. A couple of bad days, they said. The other thing that we don't know about it is how it affects your body afterwards, right? So we'll see what happens. It's just let's hope that they can find a cure for this thing quicker than quick. We're just kind of hanging up here at again the market. It's very very quiet trade today, as you can tell. Not much going on, but we'll see what happens. China pursuing a high-risk strategy to rush COVID-19 vaccines to market. Chinese authorities are set to expand a program to administer an experimental COVID-19 vaccine to large swaths of the population before late-stage studies are completed, aimed at rapidly advancing the product into the marketplace and dominating global supply. Last month, a representative of state-owned China National Biotech Group, state-owned, or Sinopharm, Sinopharm, revealed that hundreds of thousands of Chinese have already taken the company's two lead vaccine candidates on the governmental limited use program. Medical experts are concerned with the ethics and safety of a program on this scale, especially considering Chinese authorities claim that it had almost completely stopped the spread of COVID-19 within its borders. Details of the program, of course, remain unclear. As the market continues to uptick here, next level we have resistance to the 74 area. Again, the fact that the president is in hospital would have created some crazy volatility. Just the news of him going to the hospital on Friday would have created some crazy volatility. You got to give them a little bit of credit, but then again, they do watch the market very closely, that they waited until after the market closed to announce and make plans for it. Well, I'm sure the plans were there the whole time. They just waited until after the market closed to announce it, which probably saved a lot of volatility here in the market, as you can imagine. What would have happened if that news came out when the market was open? Just the fact that he's gone. Let's say a leaked document by The Guardian points towards a harsher three-tier COVID-19 lockdown plan for England, which has seen rising numbers of cases of the disease. The draft plan isn't final and needs approval from ministers, including Prime Minister Johnson, but its most severe level 3, alert level 3, has the harshest measurements so far, including shut down all pubs and leisurely businesses, restricting social contact outside of the homes, as well as overnight stays from home, and banning organized non-professional sports. Well, as they have them right now, maybe I should go there and coach. Sounds like a place to be. All right. The art market is heating up. Data from the world's largest art market reporting firms. You know, it's a slow business day when they report this, right? This is what they're talking about. Support again would be back around our pivot. Just a very quiet morning. We kind of expected it, given the lack of volatility here over the last few hours. You know, when I get to these last couple articles here, though, it's going to be kind of quiet for me to say too much. Bonds, 174 handle is the biggest move here in the bond market we've seen in a while. This started at the 77 handle. It's slowly moving down, so a couple hiccups on the market. Broke. Yeah, the market broke last week due to the fact that they're not considering any kind of new stimulus. And again, again, I keep being surprised at the fact that the president wouldn't want a new stimulus package out there. Doesn't make any sense to me why he wouldn't want that, especially just before the election here. Obviously, the stock market would rally, and I'm just surprised that they're just kind of just biting their time there with it. I don't know. So in the market, so the art market, data from the world's largest art market reporting firm concluded blue chips art to be one of the most resilient and lucrative asset classes from 2000 to 2018, significantly outperforming public equities. Should have a art market chart up. Masterworks, a art investing startup, has performed exceptionally well during the COVID-19 pandemic, with over 80,000 investors successfully gaining access to multi-million-dollar art deals. Yeah, Masterworks is uniquely positioned to be on the forefront of alternative asset revolution. So there, if you want a stock and or Don, if you want to invest in art, sure it'll look pretty in the barns that you have. There's another alternative for you. Sure, you have some good artwork for a couple of the barns you have out there.